Testing. Testing. Good enough? Okay. Good morning, everybody. There's some coloring set up in the front here for the kids if they want to sit on the cushions and join us. I'm going to get started in a minute. I know there's no music to cue everybody, so you'll just have to suffer me barking orders at you. I love it when it works out that way. Welcome to Channing Unitarian Universalist Church. We're glad you joined us for worship today. Whoever you are, whatever your theological, spiritual, political, sexual, or racial orientation or gender identity, you are welcome to worship here and become part of this community. Before I open it up for announcements, I just have a couple things that I want to say. I know it's been a very long couple of weeks, and I apologize I wasn't here last week, and I feel bad. I've missed both of Jude's services, but I heard it was wonderful, so I know I missed out. I'm sure many of you have been following the news, and I'm sure that is causing a lot of stress. So there's a couple things that I wanted to address. First off, specifically for our trans and non-binary members and parents of any trans or non-binary youth. We see you and accept you here, and that will never change as long as I am in this building. I know that we are seeing a lot of erasure of immigrants, erasure of people of color, erasure of indigenous, erasure of the queer community. In these walls, you will not be erased, okay? No matter what happens in the outside world, people may choose to take a stand or they may choose to hunker down if that means their survival. Please do not judge that. But in these walls, people will always be allowed to be their authentic selves until the day that a fascist government literally burns this building down. So as long as I am here and this building is standing, everybody here will be able to be themselves. Along those lines, I'm sure you all are aware that up until recently, churches and schools and other sensitive spaces have enjoyed special privileges with regards to ICE and other, police forces being able to enter the building. Up until a couple weeks ago, ICE was advised not to enter houses of worship to conduct their business. That has been revoked. That said, we still have constitutional protections. They cannot disrupt a worship service because that would be a violation of our First Amendment rights. We may be able to bar them from the building if they do not have a judicial warrant because this is technically private property. There's a little bit of a gray area as to whether or not they are allowed in the building in like the lobby and things like that because we are open to the public at certain hours. But I just want to remind everybody here, you all still have rights The Constitution and its amendments still exist. If ICE or any police or anything like that show up, you do not have to speak to them. Period. End of story. If for some reason there is a warrant for an individual here or there is a warrant to enter the building, you still don't have to speak to them. I don't think this is a case with anybody here, but if for some reason you are detained, you don't have to speak to them. You have the right to have representation. So I just want to make sure people know what their rights are. And personally, I don't think there's a high likelihood that ICE would show up at our doors because, as far as I can tell, we don't have any illegal immigrants or any immigrants here that would have to worry about that. So we may not be a target, but you never know what the future holds. But I will say that if I am the person in the pulpit and ICE does make an appearance, be prepared for a 6-hour-long worship service, because I am not above just conducting a worship service until they get bored and leave. So you just to warn you. But anyway, I just wanted to make sure people were aware that we do still have rights. Hopefully that won't change. So does anybody have any announcements that are less sad and doom and gloom? Deb? Okay, thank you, because I feel a lot of doom and gloom. Deb?
Yeah, I just want to let everybody know that the chocolate auction is next Sunday. And if you have any questions about it, you can ask me or Erin or Donna. We do have slips of paper that has to be accompanied with the item that you're bringing that has ingredients and so on. And if you have any questions about that, you can talk to us also. And I think that's it. It's going to start 11:30-ish.
Okay.
And I mean, some people have asked about blocking things off on Saturday. If Jude said if he was available, that they could drop them off, just let him know.
Okay.
We plan on doing it Saturday.
Great, thank you. Remind me afterwards. I'll send an email out to everybody to remind them, and I'll also include those cards if people want to print them off at home. Okay. All right. Yes. I'm glad that that group is still growing. Any other announcements? Okay, we'll get started then. Oh, one more. We have a prudential meeting after this. Right. Today, we celebrate Imbolc, the ancient Gaelic festival that signals the beginning of spring. Together, we will reflect on what awakens in the natural world and within ourselves as we transition out of winter. One of the many ways to celebrate Imbolc is by lighting candles. The candle symbolizes the growing light as we approach spring and a reflection of our own inner light. So today, we will paint candles and imbue them with the spirit of our inner light and strength. And after everyone has finished dressing their candle, we will return to the group and we will bless them together. So first, we will start by lighting our chalice. In your order of service, there is a different chalice lighting. If everyone would please stand as they are willing and able. We light our chalice as a symbol of the light within us and the life that flows through the world around us. It is our beacon as we search for truth. It is the warmth in our hearts for love, and it is the energy that propels us to action. May we be kindled by our time together. And our affirmation: love is the doctrine of this church. The quest for truth its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge and freedom, to serve humanity in fellowship, to the end that all souls shall grow into harmony with the divine. Thus do we covenant with each other and with God. Thank you. You may be seated. Before we get into the thick of it, we will take some time to address our many joys and concerns. If you have a joy or concern that you wish to share, please raise your hand and Rick will light the candles for everyone.
Okay, Jude.
My favorite tea is now available at Big Y. I don't have to go all the way in.
Nice.
Today's my mom's 8th anniversary.
Okay. Gray.
I just finished moving with my parents yesterday, and we're only 2 streets over. And well, I'm gonna go crazy living there. I'm gonna go crazy and save a lot of money.
Did the kids have any joys or concerns they want to share? Yeah?
Oh, was it good? Should I go see it? Deb? Okay. For Butch? Lauren?
For my stepsister who is dealing with some serious health issues.
Okay. Hopefully she gets some answers. Yes. Donna?
My daughter's husband who's been dealing with bladder stone.
Ooh.
Maybe he needs to.
Maybe.
His name is Chris.
All right. May this come to pass for Chris. Allison?
I'd like to close the parentheses on a concern from previous weeks. The item in Eddie's coat that was so special turned out to be a couple of eggs that we got from the coop, but then had been put in the house.
Oh.
Convocation is actually
Susan?
I'd like to light a candle for my two kitties. It's been about 1 year again. And it's keeping me warm and safe.
Julie?
For our friend Allison, who is also a friend of the church, whose mother recently passed.
Levi? Oh, that was about cached. Oh, that was good. All right, and I'll light one more for all those joys and concerns that we carry with us. And, oh, do you have one? Yeah. Okay. 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 Are there any more? All right, then I will light one more for all those joys and concerns we carry with us and may not be ready to share, if now or ever.
Thank you, Rick. We're going to take a moment of quiet reflection. If you would just take a few minutes, if you want to close your eyes, you may. Just a few deep breaths and reflect on the joys and concerns that we heard today and any joys and concerns that you have that you do not wish to share. Let us be at peace with our bodies and our minds. Let us return to ourselves and become holy ourselves. Let us be aware of the source of being, common to us all and to all living things. Evoking the presence of the great compassion, let us fill our hearts with our own compassion towards ourselves and towards all living beings. Let us pray that we ourselves cease to be the cause of suffering to each other. With humility, with awareness of the existence of life and of the sufferings that are going on around us, let us practice the establishment of peace in our hearts and on earth. A couple more slow, deep breaths, and then we will take up our offering. Thank you, Lauren. Yeah, I got it. This religious community exists by its mission as a fire exists by burning. But a fire cannot burn without fuel. And it is the time, the energy, the imagination, the vision, the creativity, the compassion, the love, and the financial support of the members and friends of this community that fuels our mission to nurture and to sustain a welcoming, inclusive, and diverse liberal religious community that transforms lives and serves the world. Your support, the free and generous support, and each and every member and friend of this community is what fuels this community and its mission. And without your support, the flame of justice, community, and love cannot burn brightly to warm ourselves and to be a beacon in a world threatened by division and fear. If you would all please stand, and together we will dedicate these generous gifts. In your order of service, We Give by Kristen Collins. We give to remind ourselves how many gifts we have to offer. We give to remember that we are part of something bigger than ourselves. We give because we believe in music and sacred space. We give with the faith that together we have enough. Thank you. Janine, if you will go and start setting up and tap Erin in and tell her what to do. All right, Erin and Janine are going to get our activity put together for us. I have some candles that we're going to paint. The paint is not actual paint, it's actually a wax-based product, so it's safe to put on the candles and burn. There's a sample one up there that you can see. But after they're ready, and after my words here, I'm going to send everybody off. There should be enough candles for everyone to have one, including the kids. After you're done painting them, we're all going to come back here for the blessing portion. But I have a few words while they're getting everything set up. So this winter has been an interesting one. On the one hand, with the constant cold and the lingering snow, I feel like this winter has been the first one that feels normal in a really long time. As a kid, I remember skating on the frozen lake near my childhood home from November well into February. And this year was the first time that it's frozen solid enough to skate on in over a decade. Yesterday, we actually took the girls up there and we put Dot on ice skates for the very first time in her life. And I think it was actually Rick's first time on that lake, too. That's how long it's been since it's frozen over. For those who don't know, Rick and I have been married for over 15 years, so it's really been a while. So it was nice to feel that kind of normal New England winter again. But on the other hand, this winter, I feel, has been the harbinger of dark times ahead instead of a time of growing light in life. Normally, at this time of year, I'm sick of being cooped up indoors, and I feel eager for spring to arrive so I can get back outside and into my garden. Usually, Imbolc has me feeling restless and hopeful, but not this year. This year, I am angry. My anger has reached depths that I didn't know I possessed. It's a good thing Imbolc is a fire festival, because I am full of fire. I imagine that this must be what it feels like to be a dragon. Fuel rapidly filling my chest, the instinctual drive to ignite it and let loose on unsuspecting villagers below. Their torches and pitchforks would be nothing against my flaming breath. I could watch the world succumb to ash from my mountain perch before returning to my bed of gold and jewels. But I am no dragon. And despite my rage, I wish no harm to anyone. And I am not the one in this world with a hoard of wealth smirking as the country burns. But I cannot swallow my fire because it will incinerate me from the inside out, and I do not have a dragon's scales to ward against the scorching flames. I would not survive holding it inside me. What else can I do with this fire? What can I forge in its heat? What beacons can I light with its flames? Imbolc is the perfect time for such introspection. During Yule, we focus on communal celebrations and we lean into each other to survive the cold and dark. But as the wheel turns away from winter and towards spring, we look inward and reflect on what we wish to wake in ourselves as the natural world around us also wakes. There is still snow on the ground, but there are also buds on the trees. It is a quiet moment, the stillness before the world erupts, a time to prepare before you unleash yourself back into the world. As I said, Imbolc is a fire festival, a time to light bonfires and candles in these last weeks of darkness as the final traces of winter begin to melt away. Soon we won't need candles to cast light in the evening. We will have more daylight than we know what to do with. Despite the growing light from the sun, however, there is still a gloom out there, a different kind of darkness. It's going to take strength to face it, and I know each and every one of you here is strong. After all, we survived a multi-year-long global pandemic when so many did not. Some people physically survived the disease in those early days before vaccines, but we all survived the isolation and the uncertainty. We all made the sacrifices necessary to protect each other and survive that collective trauma. And that took immeasurable strength. I know not everyone here may feel strong in this moment, but your presence here today is proof that you are. So I challenge everyone here to reflect on that strength, this Imbolc. During the collective inhale before the warm breath of spring brings life and light back to the natural world, consider what makes you strong and how you can bring strength to others. Reflect on your feelings of sadness, your hope, your fear, your resolve, and your anger. Look inward and find your fire. Ask yourself, what will you forge in its heat? How will you bring light into this world? As you consider, paint your candles. Pour into your work all the intentions you have for the year, the goals you want to achieve, the ways in which you want to help your community at times of struggle, the protection that you and your family need from those who would harm you. We'll spend some time doing that, and then we will come back to our seats and bless our candles together. And it looks like they're just about ready. So go on, adults and children too, select a candle, grab a paintbrush, find a plate of paint, and enjoy decorating, and I'll call you all back.
Of course, oh, yeah. That's gonna happen. There you go.
Otherwise, we would have done. Started out to make the phone line, and I tried to start to make it, which I recognize is not a good idea, I tried it anyway. And then I tried to speak too cold. Yeah, no, I figured.
If you're still working on painting your candle, if you can finish up in the next minute, I'm going to have everybody come back and sit down in a moment. Is everybody finished with their candles? I'm going to ask everybody to please return to your seats now. If you want to continue with your candles after, I'll leave the paints and stuff out for a little bit longer. Is it loud when I talk? Yeah. All right, everybody has their candles. All right, you can finish it up afterwards too if you want. There's no rush. Well, now that everybody's got their candles, whenever you choose to light your candle, whether it is tonight as the sun sets or at a future time, and you stare into the dancing flames, remember what you imparted on your candle today and let it reignite the light and the strength within you. Please stand as you are willing and able, and together we will bless our candles with a responsive reading in your order of service. Your words are in bold. I am the light. 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 So please remain standing as we extinguish our chalice. But not the light of truth, or the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. You are the light. Tonight, throughout the year, burn your candles and bring your light into this world. Blessed be. And if you want to finish painting them, you may, and we'll have coffee and snacks in a few minutes.
It's like, oh, and you see your whole hand.